Whitebait may be a delicacy, but it's also a taonga species for the South Island iwi of Kaitahu. However, overfishing and habitat loss is a threat to whitebaiting. A customary season for Canterbury hapu kai tuahuriri is now underway, which is getting whānau back on the water, although not without some ripple effects. Mea nei te purongo, Ameriana Johnson.
The Waimakariri River into Waipounamu. Keen whitebaiters get in early to secure the best spots. The closer you are to the river mouth, the better.
The guys at the front, so they get the first lift, so they get the big lifts, and hopefully they leave some for us.
For these die-hard whitebaiters, this is what it's all about.
Got to have those big lifts, you know. It's all about them.
The thrill of the catch draws out hundreds every year. However, the tide is turning.
Everyone with dollars in their eyes, people are out there to make money, and it really impacts on being able to get on the awa and just catch a simple feed. We get pushed out of spots, we can't fish. We're competing against syndicates that are rotating around the clock. So for me, growing up as a young child, some of my first memories right here on this awa with my father, learning how to whitebait. We would come and live seasonally. We would spend months here. What came from that was the learning of the harvesting and the respect for those species, but also their relationships they have within our natural environment.
These waterways are the lifeblood of the Kaituahuriri people. Rakahuri, Kaiapoi, and the mighty Waimakariri.
Kia te kitai, from the mountains to the ocean.
But they haven't always been able to enjoy this bounty. Māori use kupinga, or nets, woven from harakeke to catch whitebait. In the mid-1800s, colonial settlers introduced trout, which were given special protections, and kupinga were banned.
Our whānau were being prosecuted for catching trout in their nets. We were being blocked from access to these rivers, our main ancestral harvesting areas. And even myself, growing up as a teenager, at times I'd have the police come up and move me off the river because there was no understanding of customary rights.
Kaitahu's 150-year battle to have rights recognised was finally settled in 1997. Now, backed by DOC, they're managing their own whitebait season.
So we start earlier than the recreational and we finish later than the recreational. And that gives us that time to carry on our customs of being who we are and our place, to pass on to our future generations.
But they've had some backlash.
There's been a lot of hate from certain parts of the community, straight out racist, you know, horrible threats. There is a really large element of the community that don't know New Zealand's history. They've only had the propaganda that they've been taught over the last 170 years, and they don't truly know how Māori and mana whenua have been impacted. All they see is what they call us having a privilege, but it's actually us just accessing our rights.
Makarini decides who can get a permit for the customary season.
So those whānaus that still hold ahi kā, they're the whānaus that will have access to a permit.
Upstream on the smaller rivers and tucked away off side roads are the quieter fishing spots.
You should be able to see them coming because they kind of dance on the surface of the water.
Pauline Crofts and son Joseph Hullen first started coming to Three Streams over 50 years ago.
Used to be the best watercress over there too before they put the subdivision in.
Pauline, who's in her 80s, is back out on the water for the first time in decades. She got a customary permit.
So you don't whitebait during the recreation season?
Oh no, because it's too hard to get on the river.
For our whānau, there's one permit. Mum's the permit holder. The permit entitles us to one net, and so it's limited. It's not a wholesale right for us to come down and just empty out as much as we can.
Overfishing is one of the reasons 4 out of 6 whitebait species are threatened. There's also loss of wetlands where the whitebait spawn. The hapu, alongside the council, are focused on restoring these wetlands with a little help from Mother Nature.
With the earthquakes back in 2011, it dropped the land, and the land was originally wetlands. So what came back, really great spawning habitat for a lot of our species. And we're seeing that as a plus for our inaka.
Joseph is also involved in wetland restoration.
We've got a 200-year vision to restore it to a fully functioning Indigenous ecosystem, complete with native species, whether they be birds or aquatic.
That includes the Rakahuri Estuary, a significant place for mahikukai. Today, it's also a classroom for these Year 7 and 8 students from Tuahiwi School. There's no whitebait running, so instead, a bit of history.
About 5 years ago, this bank was out there where that shingle was. And that's how much the floods and that have taken away from us.
Ivan Rupene comes up here for the whitebait season. He keeps an eye on things.
They've been there 2 days in a row now.
Right.
That means there must be a bit of bait there.
Okay, that's a good sign.
It is.
Not everyone on the river is respectful.
The most annoying that we're having is these bloody idiots, rich little buggers, and their flash four-wheel drives coming down there on the other side, the wildlife. They're killing them.
He's hoping these tamariki walk away with respect for this mahikukai. Further south, Makarini's cousin Te Marino is sharing some of his catch.
It looks like about a pound there, cuz.
Nice, nice. Oh, nice, look at that.
How often do you guys eat whitebait during the season?
Funny enough, this season I've had maybe 2 feeds because I just make sure everyone else is fed.
Yeah.
70-80% of my catch goes to other people. Yep. Yeah, I feel lucky to be able to do it. Have people like Maka, my cousin, here to teach me, and uncles and that, and for it to still be here. This is about us living the life our ancestors wanted us to live, and we haven't had the freedom to do that. It's really important for us to recognise that no rights exist without responsibilities, that it's not just about coming and taking, it's coming and taking to give.
All right, ready? Taste test. No white bread, we don't need it.
That's not too hot, is it?
That's perfect. That is so good.
Tā mātou noho ki konei, he ngāwiri tā whātoro atu ki ngā kai. Hei oranga mō te tinana, a te whānau, te wairua.
E kia nei te whakatau ki o Kaitahu mō tātou a mō ka uri a muri aki nei.